We're all clear, but there'll be more. Echo 7, how's the transmission?
I just bypassed security. Transferring to R10 now.
Echo 2, we've got company. Let's make this quick.
Copy, Echo 9. R10, get ready for transmission. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Hoth Transmissions. Today we are going to be jumping into episode 6 of Skeleton Crew. And we get to see what happens to those little kiddos as they kind of fall down a mysterious hole, which kind of looks like a little sewer thing, as from what they popped out of. I don't know what it is about Star Wars and like those type of things, because Luke went down one of those air things, which was a tube, and I believe they did it in a couple other projects. It's kind of funny. Kind of becomes a Star Wars staple at this point.
I honestly do not remember them going down a hole. So for me, that scene, I was like, what is this again? But then I just decided to let it go. I was like, okay, yeah, they must have gone down.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it was when the end of the last episode where Jod was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you guys prisoners," and then they're sitting by the table, and Wim's like, "Hey, wait, we can do this," and he hits the button and it drops them down, and then Jod gets a lightsaber and then turns it on and then end
Yeah,
scene.
that's what I remember. That's what I apparently completely oversaw the part
Yeah,
that they went down something, because what I remember is the kids are going to be taken prisoner and then the lightsaber. In the middle, there's nothing for me.
fair enough. It's kind of interesting because if that was the way that they were able to get out, it's got to be so easy for people just to go through that tube and climb in.
Yeah. Again, sort of big, glaring plot hole.
Yeah, it's like they should have just done that in the beginning. They could have avoided the whole crazy adventure at the spa.
Yeah.
Well, they
But
probably didn't know.
we need a plot, apparently.
Well, the droid should have known.
That's true.
Everybody else, they're forgiven, but the droid should have known. But he likes to withhold a lot of information anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, if you didn't ask me, I'm not going to tell you.
That's the entire point of that droid, though. Like, he needs to be asked very specific questions. Like, he is the first generation of AI. He cannot take initiative.
Basically, yeah. Basically, yeah.
I have to start with the fact that I didn't hate the episode. I found that there were more stakes involved this time. Do I still think that on episode 6 that we are nowhere near at Atten? Is that acceptable? No, I don't think so. But I found the episode to be a bit more convincing, especially in terms of the kids' side story. The pirate one, I was like, another trope fulfilling thing. Like, oh, he makes a rousing speech and everybody's like, yar, let's go. And
Let's get our treasure, yar.
it's, I don't know if you guys watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I do.
The one with the trope fulfilling train and so on and so forth. It feels like that. And that episode with the heist, you son of a gun, let's do this. It's the exact same thing.
Not wrong.
I mean, I found the speech to be very, and the whole setting to be very first Pirates of the Caribbean again.
This one was heavily pirates.
Yeah, it was just Jack Sparrow again.
So I'm thinking he's forever Jack Sparrow. But I was gonna say, I'm like, I thought Urkel died last episode. Jamal White. You guys don't know Urkel? Is that just an American thing? I'm gonna take it as so.
What?
Love the silence.
Urkel?
Urkel, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're referencing to, but I have absolutely no clue about it.
All right. Well, for all my American listeners, Urkel, but his name's Jamal White. He's a really, really good actor. He comes into a lot of things, but I thought he was with all the other pirates that jumped in the acid bath.
Plot armor.
Yeah, he probably.
And the fact that I hated that episode, so I have no idea.
I mean, we don't know who was down in that pit, anyways. But I just assumed everybody was going down there.
The thing. That's what I thought too. Like, also, that's another thing. That there was a troop of pirates that were behind, like that were chasing him, and I thought those were the ones who got disintegrated and acid, and all of a sudden they're back. And yeah, another like.
So is it
what
everybody else? Everybody else went down there except for those ones, I guess. There's you guys go straight ahead. We'll see how this is first.
I don't know.
And I do have to say, poor SM-33, that droid just doesn't catch a break. He barely climbs out and he gets shot. He's always getting shot or disabled.
I mean, he kind of had it coming.
I mean, again, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't. At this point, the droid literally turned into a running gag of sorts. So
I mean, it is Nick Frost, but I mean,
like, I don't want to bash the episode more than I did yesterday. I mean, yesterday was just the bashing of the entire show. And
yeah, pretty much.
again, sorry. But at least today, when I watched the episode number 6, I liked the kids part of it. I can say that very clearly. I really liked the
Wait, it's in your brain?
performances. I
Yes.
liked the fact that they got a bit more of a flashed out backstory, because for me, for example, KB's situation didn't make any sense until this, I had an accident and I had to get augmentations, blah, blah, blah. That made a lot of sense. I think this should have been made clear from the 3rd episode on. I don't think this should have waited until episode number 6.
Hey, at least it wasn't episode 7. No flashback there.
Yeah, let's not do a flashback.
Oh, next episode will be a flashback. I'm kidding.
Oh my god, I would not. Honestly, just for the spite, I would stop watching. I would not watch the finale.
Basically, yeah.
Because this is honestly too late. We are still nowhere near at Atten.
I feel like they're on their way, though.
Yeah, but you feel like it. We don't see it.
Well, I mean, they got the ship, and KB has the coordinates in her brain.
Yeah,
So I feel like she's gonna link up to the ship and be the star chart.
Sure.
Should be like another Echo.
I think we're gonna see the planet at the beginning of the next episode after how this one left off.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that's the case, then I am happy with that, because one, we don't get like another random planet, we just get to go to where we're meant to be heading. And two, it just means that we're finally getting closer to the end.
And then we can start Bad Batch.
Hello, bashing Star Wars again.
It's not going to be that bad.
No.
But yeah, I will agree with you. Just based on how this episode went, and especially with Captain Jack Sparrow's speech to all the pirates, I feel like they're going to be heading straight to that Atten. I don't think we're going to get any of that fluff in the middle stuff.
I hope so. Honestly, there are so many things to be done at Atten. The kids are supposed to get back to their family. The families were trying to get back to their kids, and there was like a subplot of how the planet was being governed. There was like, we have to have a conflict and its resolution and everything that has to happen in Atten. And also, if this show is just one single season, every character's story has to tie up neatly. How's that supposed to work within 2 episodes? I find this not realistic at all.
Yeah, because especially with the way that they're building the parents up.
Exactly. So yeah, we have also had the parents subplot, and they have been peppering it in every couple of episodes, and we started the last episode with the parents, and this episode again nothing. And the time is passing. Something is I mean, okay, it has been just one day basically, but still I don't understand. I mean, it's again because probably this was supposed to be a movie and it was edited to be a TV show, but it does not make sense for me in that sense that we keep leaving characters behind and forget about them for an entire episode. And the episode lengths, like the episode number 5 was 45 minutes, which is not 45 minutes clear because there is a lot of recap and credits, and then yeah, the Star Wars logo, and then the skeleton crew and this and that. Like there's at least 6-7 minutes out of that is just pure that, and this one was 34 minutes long, and again like 6 minutes. This is not enough time. How are they supposed to also continue with the story like that? So I think the editing is quite bad in that sense. I think they had enough material, but they just didn't know how to edit it properly. And I think the show suffers quite a lot from that, especially certain plot points with regards to the parents and so on.
Yeah, because I mean, we do have the parents going on, and I feel like if we're going to be jumping back to the planet now, we haven't really progressed too much with the parents. Like the parents are trying to do something. It's like, oh, well, the kids are back, so we don't need to try to do anything anymore.
Yeah, exactly. If the kids are back, what's going to happen with the parents? If we're back there now, in the next episode, if the children are back, then why did we have to watch the parents and that subplot at all?
The only thing that would make sense for me on that part would be that the parent, like I said in the last episode, like the parents are going to somehow make it to the supervisor tower
Yeah,
because the pirates are there, so they can broadcast their location to the Republic, and then the X-wings come and save the day. That's how I see it coming. And maybe Jod has a change of heart and does something with that lightsaber.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's for sure. Like Jod is gonna double cross, 100%, because he has bonded with the kids. So Jack Sparrow 2.0, he's gonna double cross and then quadruple cross, and we're gonna be like, oh, Jod is going on his own way, and then the kids are okay, and then the bad pirates are gone, blah blah. Literal
Bill Turner.
Yeah. 100%. In my opinion, what's going to happen is that the pirates are going to probably broadcast because I don't think the pirates are going to go very quietly, because they can't. They have to pass the barrier, and their presence will be known. So they're going to probably broadcast to the entire planet. We have the kids, blah blah blah. Bring out this and that much dataries, or give us the access code, blah blah blah. And then the families are going to go to the supervisor's tower, and basically all parties are going to meet up at the supervisor's tower, and then we're going to see who that supervisor is, which we assume it's Tech Granite, or I think much worse, we're going to see a character that we've known for a while to be Tech Granite's descendant.
Palpatine.
Please no.
Ahsoka shows up.
Oh my god. Not my baby. No. Yeah, that's how, in my opinion. Like, I think everything is going to blow up in the supervisor's tower. That's what's going to happen in the episode number 7. And in the first half of episode 8, we're going to see the conflict at its height. And then second half of episode 8, resolution, and we see where the characters go from there on. Because they're doing...
I can see that happening.
Because everything is so formulaic. This is basically the third act breakup version of a sci-fi movie. That is what's going to happen.
And that's why a lot of these stories are so predictable to see what's going to happen, because they just reuse all the same plot holes and plot points and try to be original with it, but still get you to the same ending.
Yeah, I mean, this episode, like Fluffy said, there was actual stakes, like the ship being almost crushed. Definitely sort of a merchandise moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, the ship pulled apart and it's now looking different. And I was like, okay,
Exactly. Until that point, I was like, oh, finally. But then the ship had a detachable hull, and it turned into a very sleek and even more beautiful version of itself. And I was like, no. Like, great, yeah, visually, I love it. But no. I wanted the kids stranded there.
Yeah, I was reading something that they're basically saying that hull that was on it was supposed to be kind of to give the ship an older look, so people would underestimate its thing, kind of like Han Solo's Falcon. And so then the hull comes off, and it's a very brand new ship. And it's like, yeah, just kidding, guys.
I mean, it's great.
They're really powerful.
It's good if you think, it's pirates need to hide out somewhere. So, easiest thing to do, lose the hull, keep your ship. Looks
it's like the
different.
license plate changer.
Yeah.
The Star Wars version of that.
I mean, visually that looked good, and seeing the ship fly off in the end was good. I think the pirates and the kids are going to have like almost a race to Atten, and then I think
100%.
I think the X-Wings are going to follow the pirates, because obviously they were around as well. And then
that's right, they were summoned to the planet. Yeah,
I think it'll be the X-Wing pilots that broadcast where the planet location is.
That's just possible as well.
Sheer, like fluke of it to get back.
Guys, Atten exists. Come check it out. Bring the whole fleet.
How are they supposed to do that? They cannot follow the ship into hyperspace.
Unless they put like a tracker or something on it.
Nah.
Because I think the ship was impounded when they're trying to steal it.
Following a ship in hyperspace was a Star Trek trope. I don't think that will ever happen in Star Wars.
Happened in episode 8.
Actually, no, they do that, actually.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, they did it in episode 8. That's why the Resistance couldn't get away from
Yeah,
whatchamacallit, the First Order, and
yeah.
they mention it in Rogue One, but they don't actually use it until the Last Jedi.
Visually, we see it
Mm-hmm.
only in the Last Jedi. It is definitely something more that we see in Star Trek, but it has been done. So there is a possibility that it will happen in this, and if it does, cool. If it doesn't, what's the point in having the X-wings there then?
Yeah, I think the X-wings are not going to be a thing in this. The X-wings, the only way I see that the X-wings will come back is that at Atten people will decide for themselves and broadcast their presence to the universe or the galaxy, whatever. I don't see the X-wings doing that themselves. I think also the Republic at that time does not allow the X-wings to be making these kind of decisions themselves.
I mean, that's a fair point too. Like, we don't know like the level of ranks that these X-wing pilots have and what they're capable of. Because I mean, they're just X-wings, so we don't know if they have an a anything that can broadcast that far.
I mean, if it's the same X-wings that helped or went to Kim, then something. I don't. I'm just trying to make sense of the X-wing plot now, and I can't because they just appear. Basically, are they
Yeah,
space police? Do they, do people phone up the space police and be like, "Oh yeah, we need help," and then they send X-wings, or is there a bigger ship like
we got
a?
2 X-wings on our way.
Yeah, there's got to be like a carrier ship though for them because X-wings aren't that good in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, they can travel without a ship because I know the TIE
Yeah,
fighters can't, but I know the X-wings can travel. But I really hope it's not the same X-wings or the same pilots because, I mean, yeah, it was fun getting what's his name, Captain TiVo or not TiVo. I just call him Appa because I remember him from Kim's Convenience. So, and how he was like always around in Mandalorian as the main like X-wing police dude, and it showed up almost everywhere Mando was. So
yeah.
I really hope we don't have the same 2 pilots to kind of show that there's more than just 2 pilots in the entire Republic fleet.
By the way, he's also Iroh.
Oh, you know what? That would be a better reference because that's his most recent. I forgot he was Iroh.
Yeah.
It's but it is an interesting thing. It's like I wonder how they got there because I wonder if because didn't Kim give KB a little device to call her if she needed anything? So I don't think we see it on screen that Kim uses it at all. So I was kind of curious how the X-wings got there in the first place as well.
I kind of chalk that one up to just like the receptionist at the spa calling for help because there's pirates there or something. It's something that we don't see on screen, but we know would happen in real life.
Yeah, so there's like a couple possibilities. Like one, I didn't get the idea that the spa was a republic, or it seemed like another like Nar Shaddaa or Cantina from Mos Eisley, where it's just like the scum and villainy go over there just to kind of hide because we had a hut chilling there, and I'm wondering if they were just following the pirates because the pirates are kind of making noise wherever they go, or they want to say, was tapping into their transmission, and it's like, oh, Judd's there. Oh, okay, pirates are headed here, so let's follow.
Yeah, it makes
Intercepted.
it.
That's the word I was looking for. Intercepted a transmission.
I can't see that being the case, because otherwise it puts the New Republic in a weird light. But I don't know. The X-wings arriving raises more questions, but at the end of the day, like, I went into this one thinking, okay, it is a show for kids. Let's lose the plot armor of how things happen and try and enjoy it
Mhm.
for what it is.
No,
The
everything's
KB
gonna make sense.
Yeah, like the KB story was great. I actually enjoyed that.
Me too.
The Fern Neil section was good because it showed character development for Fern, which then was improved on when the kids met up again.
Reunited, yeah.
With the hug and Fern saying that she was sorry. That never happened or wouldn't have happened in the first few episodes of this show. So it does show character development, but as we've said, we're 6 episodes in now.
Yeah.
And we haven't got that resolution, or we're no further forward. They spent a couple of episodes on this spa planet. They've spent an episode on the wrong planet. It's like, are we going to get the answers in the next episode, or is it going to be like a subplot of pirates again?
I mean, I don't know if that's already out for us to see, but I want to know how long the episodes are.
Yeah.
Is there, let me see.
I do like Pocket.
Yeah. I can't see it.
Let's see if I can use AI to find out that info.
Yeah, but in my opinion, this is not going to wrap up in one season. And I am not very much willing to do that. If this was just to introduce us to Jod's character, I feel like he hasn't given us enough for me to want to know more about this character and follow his journey. Because you can find a selfish man looking for bounty, blah, 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 kind of characters everywhere in the galaxy. I'd rather watch Cad Bane
Yeah.
than him. But yeah, it is what we have right now. I hope the last 2 episodes are a solid hour, like at least around the mark of an hour, and they get to tie everything out properly, because none of the characters that I've met in this show makes me want to watch another spin-off, another show, another movie that is based on them.
I guarantee if they had a spin-off for Neil, you'd watch it.
Oh, come on, don't say Neil. Of course I would watch him. I would watch Neil watch paint dry. Tiny little trunk would be like, me. Look at the paint dry, and it's so nice, and it happens in different places in different parts of the wall. And I'd be like, you're so right, baby. Go ahead.
Honestly, I think he probably has the most character development in the entire series because we got to see him kind of step up again today with Fern. Like he went from this cowardly, we shouldn't be doing this, guys, but I'm getting stuck doing it, to yeah, we're doing this. Like he's getting more confident.
I mean, he
Neil's gonna
has.
be the one that saves the day at the end.
Oh, that would
He's
be so
gonna
good.
he's gonna find the lightsaber. He's gonna be the Jedi, and he's gonna get rid of all the pirates.
Imagine, like from One Piece, he has
Yeah,
2 lightsabers and 1 in the trunk.
let's do it. And then
Yes.
Wim gets all mad because Wim wanted to be the Jedi.
Yeah, KB calling him Jedi was I was like,
Cringe,
no,
yeah.
no.
It's like you're not a Jedi, kid.
No, that
Yeah,
sounds like flirting and it was the
but
Oh, that's
again,
adorable.
they're kids, and
And they're
it
acting
was
like kids. And they're written like
yeah,
kids.
Wim 100%. Wim is a very convincing kid. Neil
Yeah.
is a very convincing kid. KB and Fern are not.
KB
I would
is that kid
disagree.
that grew up way before she should have.
Yeah,
That
Fern
is true.
Fern is like the spoiled kid. You know,
Like
they
she knows better, but she's gonna be rebellious and kind of give you attitude.
yeah, she's the one that will get her way no matter what. KB, like you just said, is the one that had to grow up before her time, because she had that accident which we don't know fully what it is, but it made her a cyborg. And so she had to grow up and sort of lose the kid aspect of her.
I wonder if that is that or her cyborg self. That is what I'm wondering because this was the only, like, today, I watched it today, like the episode that we watched, episode 6, was the only time she showed actual childlike something. Like she
Yeah.
was
Qualities.
exactly, yeah. That's why I'm thinking this is going to sound horrendous. I'm very sorry about it, but this is a fictional character. But I'm feeling like there is not much human left in her, let alone a child.
I mean, I would say that too if I did not see this episode, because this episode she became very vulnerable. I don't know why I can say that word. Vulnerable. Uh, yeah, she became very vulnerable in this episode, and so it gave her that human,
Yeah.
like character,
Yeah.
but which we didn't really get to see too much of before. And I think that's kind of why I think we all agree that the kids did really well in this episode, because we got to see them portray different character arcs for themselves. Like even Wim stepped up. Like he turned from that annoying kid and is like, okay, well, I'm gonna do what I can to save you. Like I'm gonna step up.
That's what I was feeling like when I was watching episode 5, for example, that tiny piece where Wim went and grabbed his book and cried and this and that. I think this episode, the way that he helped KB, made him more of a child and a relatable character than that little thing. I
The
think
little
that
crying tantrum.
solely put in there to humanize Jod, to make us sympathize with him because of the things that he's going to do later.
Yeah.
That is at least what I felt. Like I felt like that little exchange didn't put anything into Wim's character for me, but this episode did.
I would say that's a fair point because we don't really see Judd become that caring person usually in any other instance, and that might be the only part that we get to see of him that's going to give us an ounce of saying, okay, maybe there is still good in him. Maybe he's not going to completely betray these kids. Or maybe he just hates the pirates so much, he's like, double cross the pirates. And then end up getting stuck on the planet. And it's like, well, all right. Well, I already know you guys, so let's have fun. Let's make gold.
I mean,
I'm not even
it
sure what
can
those credits are
happen.
made out of.
Got to be some. I mean, it's obviously a metal. It might be gold. It would make more sense.
Yeah, it looks like gold.
It does look like gold, but like I'm just trying to think of like Star Wars references because we don't really hear too much of like earthly names for metal. Like we got Durstil and Beskar.
Is Old Republic credits made out of?
Like, I'm okay if it's just gold. Like
Yeah.
I won't be upset, but I'm just kind of curious because like they do the same thing. Like in Andor, like coffee, they called it cafe or something. Like or calf or like they had to change the names. Like especially in Acolyte with what was the Mechanic.
Yeah. But
No.
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 So that's just why I'm wondering, like, did they make up a specific name for gold in Star Wars, or is it just gonna be as simple as it is gold?
The Wikipedia says in canon, credits are basically mini bullion of precious metals at set values. So this
Okay,
could basically be tiny gold.
it's like the
Gold.
purest metal that they have in the galaxy,
Mhm.
and this planet has it, and that's probably why it's been hidden away.
That would make sense. And that would be a plot point that I would happily explore as well.
Yeah, it's very interesting on that aspect of it, because they do call it the planet of. I even lost the word for it. I got a lot of brain fog this morning. Uh, the planet of everlasting treasure or whatever, or unending treasure or something. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
because it almost kind of gives me like a feeling of there was a legend in Star Wars Legends. It was during the Yuzon Vong War, and apparently Anakin and Obi-Wan visited it, and it was Zonama Sekot. It was the living planet that could create its own ships through organic material. And so I'm wondering if this planet is similar, not in the sense of ships and stuff, but it's just constantly being able to produce this precious metal or something. I would love to see Zonama Seika in canon. The planet that can do hyperspace travel. And it's sentient. You can talk to the planet. It's pretty cool.
I'd love to see that too, but
I just don't think Disney could do it right. They'd make it super cheesy.
After how the last recording went, when we bashed everything, I don't think it could be done well. I mean, if we look at like Guardians of the Galaxy too, where we
Oh
have
yeah, with EO.
that again was just cheesy. I know that the films are kind of cheesy anyway, but this was to a whole new level, and I don't really want Star Wars to go down that route either. We're
Become another
struggling as
Marvel.
it is. Yeah.
I mean, that was what made the episodes, not 7, episode 8 go down the way it did. that's basically it. Like, it was basically Thor Ragnarok,
Yeah.
and Star Wars fans do not want that. I could be okay with it. I don't want I at this point do not want Star Wars to take itself seriously anymore, because it just disappoints me when it does. But that's what happened with episode 8. So they should stick to more serious things, and they're not going to be able to do that. The Living Planet is just too much to take under.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Sadly. If only Kathleen Kennedy knew that we had source material before she said we didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Star Wars would be way different if they just went by the more strictly by the books. And just they don't have to, like, they could skip so much from the books that were just bad books, but there's so much good material that they could have pulled out too.
I want to air my grievances about all of this. I hate the fact that people who do not know anything about the source material are being hired, being cast, and it's turned into this running joke. Like, oh, I get in the booth and I make $1 million for 10 minutes and I'm okay with it. Like, after a while, they should either advertise that kind of stuff, like stop advertising that kind of stuff and pretend that they know, or actually try to hire people, have real job interviews, like in the real world, because you cannot go into a job and say, like, I actually don't know nothing about all of this, but yeah.
I mean, to back that one up, if we look at the interviews that Yord actor did,
Mm-hmm.
Referring to Luke as Anakin repeatedly. One, how did no one correct him on it? That's mistake number one.
Yeah.
Two, okay, you kind of have a basic grasp of some of the characters, but you should know more.
Disney Marvel is known for having absolute control over interviews and stuff. How if they accidentally spoil anything, they're made to disappear like this?
Yeah.
Have someone
Tom Holland.
does the exact same thing for Star Wars. If somebody repeatedly refers to Anakin, Luke, whatever, just be like, dude, enough. Stop.
Yeah.
We're not airing this. We're cutting this off. If you cannot hire people who actually know the shiz,
Stuff.
Nice save.
have someone at least present in the interviews to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because back when George Lucas owned Star Wars, before he sold it off, when any new book or comic or anything came out, he'd hand the author a giant book, which had all the key points of stuff that's already been done on the other books to keep things consistent with the story. Even if somebody did a change to a gun in one of the stories later, that was in there. And you had to know that before you even started writing the book or using anything from the book.
Look, George R.R. Martin, the author of Game of Thrones, has an assistant who he claims knows the characters and plot points better than he does at the moment. It's really not that difficult. I mean, they have to hire one of us. That's it.
All of us. The three of us.
That would be better.
Yeah, the three of us, I think we could get some good story. But to be fair, George R.R. Martin hasn't finished his own book series, and the last book hasn't even been released. And it's been what, like 6-7 years?
Don't know. It's more than that. It has been way longer than that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't want to talk about
So
it.
everybody knows his character is better than he does now.
That is also true, but that's what I'm saying. Like this, when that dude is not turning this into an ego war and saying like he openly admits that there is people who knows his stuff better than he does.
Yeah, and
I
Yeah.
think
this is very humble.
Exactly. I think Disney should be able to say that as well because it is still a corporate identity, not a person. And they should be able to be like, oh, we have a super fan of Star Wars.
Let's bring him in. Let's run our thoughts by him and say, hey, you're a super fan. What do you think of this story?
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell by your face you don't like it. Okay, we're gonna scrap that. We're gonna come up with something different.
I mean, they don't even have to. They just have to ask a person, be like, does this make sense within the universe? They don't have to ask because it's also a matter of taste.
Mm-hmm.
This is something subjective. It's not like something like here within this group of three. You guys were much more for Skeleton Crew than the previous show, while I am still like the previous show is tons better than what we're watching now. And it's just taste, it's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want anyone to have this.
The acting was not subjective. The acting was terrible.
You are right though. Both of you are right, to be fair. But
No, yeah, I mean, Acolyte had its moments that kept you engaged,
yeah,
despite a lot of the issues that we've named.
Mhm.
Whereas Skeleton Crew has all the things that Acolyte act as far as quality. It just doesn't keep you engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, no matter what, in the end, we're still here. We still want more. We still want to watch it. We're still loving all of this. We just, as the fans, need the producing company, people, and so on and so forth to show us the same love and the same respect and take into account what has been there.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm here for the trash crabs.
I'm a trash crab.
Oh man, one of these days we're gonna start going video on this.
Yep. Please do. For everyone who's listening, I did the crab hands.
She kind of looked like the dude from Futurama, the way he does his hands.
I did.
Dr. Zoidberg.
Yeah, Zoidberg. There you go, Dr. Zoidberg.
Okay, what did you guys think of the pairing of the kids in this episode?
I thought it was interesting because they basically switched best friends for the episode. And so characters that never interacted with each other on the planet now had a chance to kind of, I get to know you now. And they begin to build that small little family and camaraderie. And I liked the interaction between both pairs.
I liked it in the sense that basically in both friend duos there is this dominant character and the sidekick. Wim is the dominant character, Neil is the sidekick, Fern is the dominant character, KB is the sidekick.
Yeah.
When Fern was in charge, Fern learned how to be more considerate, which also translated into her relationship to KB, I think. And KB learned how to step up and how to become a leader. And Wim learned how to be more considerate. And I really, really like that. So that's why, like, for example, I can 100% say about this episode that I really, really liked the kids' subplot in the second half, that I really saw some character development, and it was convincing character development. I did not feel like it was just done to take the characters somewhere, but the interactions that they've had, the small
It felt
things
natural.
exactly. It felt 100% natural. Oh, see, Neil has a different physiology than Fern does. So Fern has to pay attention and help him, because even if it is something as simple as climbing,
Hmm.
it's different physiology. He has to do something differently. And for the same thing, KB, she has all the smarts, all of the like brain power.
Brain power. Yeah.
She needs help. So she has to be vulnerable and say, you have to help me do this. Otherwise, I can't function. It's basically like a matter of life or death. And Vim learned how to listen. And I think that was done fantastically. I really, really enjoyed it. I cannot say anything bad about that part of the episode.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
And we didn't get Fern and Wim arguing as much either because they were separated. You're gonna break all your bones. No, I'm not. Yes, you are.
That part. I wanted to punch the TV. I was
I
like,
mean, they're just kids being kids, but
I mean,
you
but the
get
thing,
two personalities like that, they're gonna clash.
yeah, but this has been done in Emperor's New Groove, and it just requires a
I love that movie.
and done.
But that was
You know,
ages ago.
seconds.
This is a newer version of that.
But we already know that we don't need newer things of things that ain't broken.
That's true. If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
In the case of pressing a button and getting rid of the exterior hull to make a prettier ship. That doesn't look as pretty on the inside, though.
Yeah, but the outside, that ship looks really pretty.
Kind of remind me of the Naboo starship, the silver one, that Padme's starship, the Royal
Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
kind of give me those vibes a little bit.
I will agree with that. I thought it was very Naboo-esque.
So you might be right. It might be Palpatine. Palpatine's from Naboo.
God, please no. I will say though, if it's an original character that's in the control tower, great. If it's one that we already know,
Hondo.
Well, I was just about to say, if it's someone like Hondo, I can live with that.
Depends.
But it has to be done right.
Exactly.
Like it can't
because you can't just throw Hondo in there and go, oh, okay, cool, that's great.
Yeah, it can't be like the Yoda reveal.
Because it's got to be for like fans that aren't as familiar with Hondo as the rest of us. So everybody else would be like very confusing. It wouldn't be an ideal reveal.
If it is not someone that we have seen before, why did they do that? What is it? The hologram. Why was it corrupted?
Right.
That means we know this person. I hope out of all hopes that it is Hondo. If that is the case, if it is someone we know, I hope that it's Hondo, and if it is done correctly, because I don't see any other reason for them to put another like element of mystery. Why?
I mean, if
It was
it is
Agatha all along.
the only The only
Sorry.
thing I can think of with the hologram being all corrupted is just because of
It's old.
SM-33 isn't exactly reliable. You know, he's got one eye and is very sort of one-minded. So, you know, his memory is probably shot anyway.
Not to mention he's got a little critter that's going in and out of his skull, probably chewing on wires. Which,
Yeah.
now that I think about it, that poor little creature, as much as SM keeps getting shot or stunned, that little creature inside him, by default, gets shocked as well.
That creature's long dead.
It has to be. We haven't seen it in a couple episodes, so.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I mean, I hope it is a. No, I don't know. If it's a red herring, I'm gonna be like, ugh, like, why did I even think about this?
It's Neil's mom.
It is going to be Jod's dad.
It's Wim's mom.
Wim's mom would be whoa.
Actually, yes.
Have
You might
guys
be onto something with that.
seen Neil's dad?
Well, Neil's
No.
dad. I mean, we don't see his dad, but I don't. The only person that we know that is missing a parent is Wim.
I would say, based on how much I'm finding this like Pirates of the Caribbean, it would not surprise me if it was Wim's mum, because then it's kind of like the whole Will Turner bootstrap Bill.
Yeah, that is true.
That would be like, wow. I would flip out.
It's like, sorry, Wim. I didn't mean to leave. I was forced into this position.
Just
How to
pirate.
Train Your Dragon 2? No.
I didn't. That's not what I was thinking or where I was going with it, but you're not wrong with that
Yeah.
comparison. She went off to save the dragons.
I'm looking for Neil's dad.
But if we're gonna go with that, then Wim's mom shows up and then his dad dies.
Oh my
Also,
god.
yeah.
That happened in another show somewhere for sure. Yeah, I mean, that happened in How to Train Your
How to
Dragon.
Train Dragon 3. Yeah, that time I was referencing it.
Yeah.
So that'd be actually really interesting. Just because we need to see something like that in this show. Like, just to spice it up just a little bit. We need to see someone die. It's gonna be KB almost became that character.
I didn't think they would kill off KB.
No, I knew they
in
wouldn't
this
either.
one. Maybe it's hard to try and guess if they're going to, because when we did the Bad Batch, I really thought that they were all going to die, and
And you kept thinking Tech was coming back.
there was still nobody. Okay, nobody. Nobody. But you know, it's hard to try and work out where they're heading with this plot, because we have got 2 episodes left now, and we know that they're all going to meet up on Atatin. The pirates, the kids, the parents again.
The race to Witch Mountain.
Yeah, it's trying to work out who gets there first, what happens, and is there actually going to be any stakes?
Is that Neil's dad?
This is what I've seen. But I don't know if it's.
I think Neil's dad is Max Rebo. Not lying.
Would make sense.
Max Rebo's still alive, okay?
Yeah, was never killed, so, or that we saw. We never saw a
It's an
body.
official
He
look.
somehow survived the sail barge explosion.
It is from Top Star Wars Card Trader app.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. So Neil does have a dad.
He does.
So Neil and Wim are actually brothers. We're gonna throw in some WD Warner Brother drama here. The mom and Neil's dad. That's why she left.
Oh God, no! Please, no.
I'm kidding.
However they do it, I think as we're older fans, one way or another, we're either going to love it or we're going to be pissed with it.
I think
And
it's gonna be one that we're gonna be okay with. I think if you look, it's gonna be one of those endings. If you overthink it, you're not gonna like it.
yeah, and that's the problem that I had with Bad Batch. To be fair, is that
We did overthink that a lot.
yeah, we was kind of trying to work out what was going to happen. Based on the episode titles and everything, and being disappointed that they all didn't die at the end was.
I mean, they died at some point. I'm sure.
I mean, yeah,
Old
they
age.
would have died of old age, but I when that was all going off and they were shooting each other and everything, I thought they're all going to go out in a blaze of glory. One
Yeah.
final hurrah to save the day. But there was nothing, and then I've just worked out who it is. It's Omega. Yeah, because she disappeared. She flew off into space, and we never saw her again. And it's going to be her. And oh my God, if it is, I am turning the show off. I'm throwing my TV out the window.
And she's a Jedi. We got to read the book first, though,
No,
to find out what happens to her.
I know. I said I would. Why? Why did I say that?
Yeah.
Sounded like a good idea at the time.
To be fair, it depends on when that book is set, if I read
Yeah.
it or not. If it's,
I'm sure it'll take place after.
Wait, what were you saying? Who is going to be Omega?
Omega is going to be the supervisor / pirate captain.
I
/
think
Wim's
it's going
mom.
to be Wim's mom. Yeah.
Omega's Wim's mom.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't think there's a reason for them to also change the voice and the accent and everything in the hologram. But Omega could be Wim's mom. And she might have run away because the Empire or the First Order was after her.
Honestly,
She was getting older more quickly, and people were going to start asking questions.
Well, this is set 9 years after
Return of the Jedi, right?
And as far as we know, I don't think Omega had the. Did she have the growth?
I don't know. Was she like Boba, that she was supposed to age?
Oh
naturally?
no, she was like Boba, same age as Boba.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she doesn't age. But
Okay.
that just doesn't seem, just based off of her character and how we see her in the show, it doesn't seem like that would be her character arc. Especially because when the end of Bad Batch, she goes to join the rebellion.
You just spoiled the entire.
Yeah, for those that haven't.
I mean, if you haven't watched it by now, you're not
whinge
going to
about
watch
the
it.
Bad Batch.
Let's be real.
I am gonna watch it. I will. I promise.
I keep forgetting you haven't seen it.
Not the third season, no. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mega dies.
Yeah. She dies. I get happy.
Hunter gets an arm chopped off and he's crying.
Hmm.
Wrecker
know.
gets blown up.
Oh God, no!
I'm kidding.
Tech comes back. He's alive.
Obviously, I know that it's just Hunter and Omega.
No, I know you do. So another cool thing from this episode that I thought was kind of cheesy, but after I was reading a little bit about it, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. They did a stop motion in this episode with the giant crab.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
all practical. That was all practical.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's the
And-
thing about also, I'm sorry, that's also the thing about pushing out so much content. You cannot take your time and do these things like because stop motion, that crab, for example, it looks amazing. It
Yeah.
looks gorgeous. But if you try to push out content like Disney is doing right now, you cannot do that. You cannot take your
Mm-mm.
time to create things in that much detail.
And showing how stupid those kids are. They're like, oh yeah, back at the spa, there's this giant creature that we could talk to. Oh, here's another giant creature. Let's try talking to it. Oh, it's not listening or responding. Let's get out of here.
Well, kids. They tried, they learned.
And they're starting to understand that the X-Wings are the good guys at this point now. They're starting to learn.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Wim was like, why am I so bad at choosing the good guys? I'm like, this is a good lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
He is losing those pink eyeglasses that he sees everything like, oh yeah, everyone is nice and I come from Atten and I have
He
a
uses the
great...
Force. He must be good.
Yeah, exactly. That I felt like was a very good plot point for him. Like he also had this great part with KB, but I
Mhm.
think the most character development came from that he actually cannot trust his instincts with people yet.
Yeah.
He needs a lot more in life.
Our little Wim is growing up.
to learn.
This is true.
Okay. What was so far your highlight of the season and the worst part of the season for you, for Scouts and Crew? Like,
I think we already said the worst in the last episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there is a worse part anymore.
Okay.
I think that just the best part for me, I just like the whole adventure. I know it's been done before, but it's in space. It's fun.
For me, it's not so much episode related. It's how well the kids are acting. You know, we hated Fern as a character because of how well the actress was portraying her.
Mhm.
You know, they're kids. Like, let's not shoot them down. Let's try and build them up for what they are. You know, they are really good actors.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because they're playing kids really well. I mean, they
Yeah.
are kids, so it's really cool that they're able to bring that on screen and be able to transition that into such a good balance of character on screen between all four of them for not knowing each other beforehand. To have that level of bond is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So I would say for me that's the best part of Skeleton Crew is seeing how these kids are you know, impressively acting. Like, we can look at how the acting was in The Acolyte, and that was a bit more ropey, whereas this is more solid. It feels natural.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like, to especially like in this last episode that we discussed, like Flubby was saying, the way that everything just happened seemed so natural. It didn't feel like it was forced. It seemed like it was just all completely natural, and that's what I've been liking about it the most, is just the acting style.
Yeah.
I can say that the worst thing about the show for me has been the 1,000 names of Jod, whatever, Captain Silvo, as of the moment.
Zod.
I was like,
That's his next name, Zod.
yeah, great. Let's call Superman and be done with this. That has been the, like, there is no reason that it's not funny. Like, there's no reason for that running gag at this point. And I guess, yeah, the child actors are quite good. Neil being specifically, for me, amazing.
Yeah.
Because he also has to work with CGI and prosthetics.
Yeah.
I don't think they do CGI with them though.
I have no idea. That's why I
I know.
said CGI and prosthetics. I'm not sure, because whatever is happening, the way he actually manages to convey his feelings through not just facial expressions, but with his entire body, I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, because that's actually one of the cool things about it too. Because I think it's like a team of 100 people that operate Neil, and so what they do is they have the kid actor. He goes without the prosthetics, and he'll go around and he'll do his scenes, and he'll do his movements and his facial expression. Then when they bring on this prosthetics, they look at the camera and they mirror his facial expressions to fit the actual mask, or whatever you want to call it. And from what I was reading, there's a team of 100 people that help with all of that to make that way they don't have to do CGI. It's pretty crazy.
Well, whatever they're doing it great. That is what I can say. I really, especially thinking about all of these kids that I could be bonding with, which KB is for me a standout. But Neil he's not just cute. He is relatable. He is really amazing. That's what I should say. Honestly.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing with me.
You're welcome. You have your right to your opinion. I'm kidding. You don't.
No, exactly. Now have it all out like Fern and Wim did. Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, those are my highlights, and I would say just the worst thing is, no, it's just great. No, I'm kidding. I agree with a lot of like the plot points and like the progression. While I still do think pacing is still way better on this show than previous projects.
Yeah.
I do say that the progression is not going where it should be quite as fast.
But that's the thing. How is that pacing then? How is pacing? How?
Because for the individual episodes themselves, the pacing, like the screen transitions and stuff like that, for the individual stories or individual episodes, the pacing is smooth.
It doesn't drag.
It doesn't drag. Yeah, there you go.
If I had a mic to drop, I would have at this point.
You just pick up your laptop and drop it.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I think to be fair, we don't know. We knew the previous project was planned to go on for several seasons. With this one, if it is really actually planned as a movie and now it's going to be a season, the pacing is horrendous. In my opinion, we are nowhere
In that
near
aspect, yes.
This is my thing. This is my entire argument. If this is planned as a singular season, the pacing is horrendous. We have wasted so much time with going nowhere. This all could have been done within 3 1-hour episodes.
Yeah. Because right now I feel like the parents' subplot is kind of pointless.
So many things are. The parent subplot, everything that happened in At-Atten. We've spent 2 entire episodes on At-Atten.
I will actually agree with that. Like they could have probably cut Atten into one episode.
That's why I cannot say the pacing is better than previous projects, because previous projects were planned to span multiple seasons.
Right.
And that's where I dropped my mic and my laptop and I smashed. I'm good. Yeah.
So the only argument that I've got for that, I agree sort of both sides, and I'm going to try and take the middle ground here. Obviously, the last project was meant to, like you say, was meant to have been 3 seasons. The pacing for season 1 was horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Take out the fact that it was meant to be multiple seasons. If the pacing was that bad in one season, do not do a second. So
especially with only 2 characters being the only interesting ones, or just one character being the most, and you don't even see that character that much.
If this was meant to be a movie, then I'm trying. I don't think the pacing would be that bad if it was a movie.
No, me neither. I think it's cut very badly.
I think you're right. I think it's how it's been cut. But at the same time, these episodes are like 25 minutes a piece, if that. 20, 25 minutes once you've got through all the credits and all the boring stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, I would say to keep my attention, that is the perfect length. Anything longer for a show that is about space pirates, I would say is too long.
You're right about it. You're right, 100%.
So pacing wise, if we look at the bigger picture of this and say, yeah, they're nowhere near getting back to At-Atten at all, and we're 6 episodes in. What we then need to consider is, if we look at it how a movie would do it, the last 2 episodes that are coming up would be them returning to At-Atten.
It'd be Act 3.
So it's not like we're missing out. We've had to go through the adventure of them trying to get back to the planet, and that's where we're at. It is just like a movie would do it, just split down into 20-25 minute episodes. The problem that we've got is they're released weekly, so we have to wait a week to watch the next one, and then we're feeling a bit, well, they've not done anything in this episode. But I can sort of guarantee that if we watched episodes 1 to 8 once it's all out in the movie length that it should be, we would probably feel different.
No, I disagree about that.
I challenge you, Fluffy.
That I disagree with, because something is missing. The thing is, when they were... So, I don't think they had a film length and cut it out. No, I think they've put the entire film, whatever they've had, 5 hours, 6 hours on film, that they were going to edit into a 2.5 hour movie theater piece. They now give it to us in episodes. So when I go back and watch 8 episodes one after another, I'll still be just as bored, because there is something missing. The cutting or the editing, I do not know, but it does not flow as it should. It does not. For me, the back and forth between the characters, the locations, the subplots, it does not flow. Maybe that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about pacing. Maybe I'm talking about something completely different, because I don't see the, like, I mean, we know that the parents in the beginning of episode 5, the parents have had something going on there, and they've had it in the beginning as well. Then why do we just see like one side silhouette of the dad and then blah blah? Like, there is something missing there. I'm sure in their archives they have enough footage to give me the proper subplot of the parents. But because they're trying to adjust this from a movie or whatever it was planned as into an 8 episode show, something is going missing there. And it is not convincing to me. I do not get the time to get to know the characters, especially, like, I'm okay with John and the kids. I'm okay with that. But everything else, the rest of the pirates, this tech rented pirate or whatever, supervisor, whatever, the parents, like, these are 3 subplots that I do not have enough time to get to know, get into, so that I can actually follow the story. I can't.
Yeah.
For me, it feels like somebody got a scissor, took out the film, and literally just chopped randomly to make 35 to 45 minute chunks and put it together in the sense, in the way that they thought made the most sense. But to me, as a viewer, it still does not make any sense whatsoever. I think that is my problem. I think the editing is so clunky that I just cannot get into the story. It's not immersive enough for me. I feel like I'm constantly being pushed out by different characters, different subplots, like, or the sheer length of the episode. I definitely 100% understand what you say by, 25 to 30 minutes is perfect for me. I am that person. We once actually timed my attention span, and it's 17 minutes. I pause something every 17 minutes. 100% with you on that. But if then that was the case, this should not have been an 8 episode show. It is not like there is a limit on number of episodes on Disney Plus. They could have done this a 12 episode show of 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been perfectly fine with it.
That is,
That is a fair point.
Yeah, very valid. I do think that there are too many subplots in this. Do we need one of the parents in the sense of how they're going about it, probably not.
Not
Especially
anymore.
since there's really nothing progressing with them.
If
Yeah,
we were going back to parents and having like a subplot of them every episode for 5 minutes, 100%. But 3-4 minutes every 3 episodes, we don't need it. Just at that point, cut it out.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
because
the
probably
last one.
sorry.
I was going to say that the last subplot with the parents, that it led nowhere and just made us have these questions. You know, we get that they want their kids back, but do it in a better way.
For me, the only reason that I can see at the moment, the reason why we have the parents is because in the final resolution part of things, or with this face off with the supervisor and all parts coming together, that the parents are there. And without these tiny chunks, they could not even explain why the parents would be there. I believe this is the only reason why we get these tiny little bits of parent subplot sprinkled within the season. Because they cannot just post-edit an entire cast of people later on.
Yeah.
That's at least what I feel.
I mean, maybe we'll get the conclusion, a satisfying conclusion in the final 2 episodes with those subplots. Hopefully.
I really hope so, but I don't see any satisfying conclusion if the final 2 episodes are both an hour long and they are really well done in terms of subplots.
No, I am interested to see if we find out who the supervisor is, if it is a pirate, if it's not.
It's Kathleen Kennedy.
What if it is Kathleen Kennedy in a pirate costume? What if it was me? Look.
No wonder you hate this show so much. Because you're not in it enough. You only get one scene. No wonder you hate it. I'd hate it too if I only had one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole 10 minutes and the millions of dollars that you got from it that you whinged about earlier. Yeah, this is why.
Mm-hmm.
True.
This is why I don't like my IMDb score now. Yar.
Yar. What if it's actually Nick Frost?
Simon
and the droid
Pegg.
is just being remote controlled?
It would have to be Simon Pegg for me. I know he's been in Star Wars before, but
Alan Tudyk.
And I got Jaleel White's name wrong. Forgive me. I said Jamal White. It's Jaleel.
Mark,
Sorry, Urkel.
you're canceled. Go.
Yeah.
No, can you please apologize to all of our listeners?
More specifically, Jaleel White, because he's one of my favorites. So forget. By me not getting his name right, kind of contradicts that whole statement, but
It does.
But I've had brain fog all morning, so I've said it several times. So I excuse myself on this one. I'm looking at the IMDb page, looking at all the cast in it, trying to see if there's anybody we haven't seen yet.
I decided that I want it to be Alan Tudyk. That's what I want.
That'd
now.
be cool.
That's what I want from life. I want.
It's changed from K2SO from resident alien to resident supervisor.
Yep. That's what I want now. This is my entire situation.
Yes, but Nathan Fillion.
He has not been in Star Wars yet, has he? He's been in Marvel.
He's been in
He's been
Marvel,
in like
DC, Firefly.
definitely Firefly.
Okay, I am going to go with that one. No. Nathan Fillion, I can accept. Alan Tudyk, I need.
I think
More
we're
than
gonna
Orlando
get
Bloom?
disappointed.
Stop talking about Orlando.
We're
Top tier
gonna
actor
get
that guy is.
Alfred Molina here. Alfred Molina is a character.
I didn't even know Sam Witwer did voices in this. I thought I heard Darth Maul somewhere.
It's Darth Maul.
Kenobi!
Oh yeah. He is an additional voice.
Yeah.
Damn. I want to know. I need to know who the supervisor is. See, you guys got me hooked in the show somehow.
They're throwing mystery at you. Everybody loves mystery. Because that's what originally hooked me into the show in the first place, was just the whole mystery of that.
Yeah, but I want to know who is the supervisor.
I'm not seeing anybody that I don't recognize
Yeah, no, me
that
neither.
doesn't already have a name attached. And I'm not going to take additional voices as a sign.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean,
god. What if it's actually Darth Maul?
That
Yeah.
would be something. I mean, we
Yeah.
do know he's dead at this point.
Exactly.
Like
He's
they can't bring him back a second time. I
No.
draw the line. I barely wanted him the first time, but the way that they brought him back and actually did well with the character, I was okay with. He became one of the most interesting characters of Star Wars. And then to give him a poetic death with Kenobi, just to bring him back again, would completely kill that character.
No.
yeah.
I mean, so many people are still not on board because they haven't watched Rebels or Clone Wars.
Yeah,
So no, that's not gonna happen.
and we have to sit and explain it to him. All right, guys, so that will wrap it up for us today, and we will catch you guys next week. So before you guys go, just remember to check down in the description below and check out our link tree where you can find all of our social media, where you can find us on Discord and Instagram and be able to talk with a lot of cool fans like yourself. And where you can also check out our merch. We got a bunch of cool collectibles down on entertainmentearth.com and also a lot of cool shirts on our Teespring. So be sure to check all of that out, and we'll see you guys next week. May the Force
Be with you.
Always.